This is Season 1, Episode 2, titled Daisy's Song, written by Guy Waldron, directed by Bob Kiljan? Not a name I know. Original air date, February 2nd, 1979. The first time we reviewed this was in the Muscle Car Place, Episode 277 with Mike Finnegan. That was part of the Dukes Cast series. The second time we did this was the three of us, just a couple of years ago in Episode 306. I didn't remember that we did that. But we did.
I remember us doing it at one point, but I don't remember how far back it was.
Feels like eons ago, but it was only 2 years. Anyway, here's the show preview right here.
Hey, my name is Daisy, and I want to be a star.
You think Daisy's been took?
You're gonna need help, Hoss.
He's got it.
Y'all better not go to the refrigerator now.
There we go. Okay. This is an excellent episode. For those of you who are new listeners and viewers, you have just joined us. We are reviewing all 7 seasons of the Dukes of Hazzard here on YouTube, but we have already reviewed them all on our audio podcast. You can go find them on our website, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora. It's all there. As we go through this again, you now get to watch what we only used to hear. I'm Rob Kibbe, longtime automotive podcasting know-it-all. He is Brittany McPartland, automotive podcasting producer, and he is Justin Corneth. He actually knows stuff about General Lee's and Dukes of Hazzard and all sorts of stuff. Here is the full dig of the show. First, did you guys rewatch this episode?
I did. I didn't watch it last night like I normally would have, but I actually just watched this episode probably about a week or so ago.
All fresh, so you're very vivid in your mind.
Yeah, fresh enough. And plus, I've probably seen this episode countless times. I don't even know how many times.
How about you, Bern?
I did watch it this afternoon. It was a pleasure. It was a great, and I do have questions when they are appropriate.
I like this episode more than One Armed Bandits.
I do too.
For a lot of reasons.
I think so. I agree.
Here's the IMDb summary. Daisy learns that Jessie Coulter has recorded a song she wrote. One problem, where's the royalty she's due? That's what Bo and Luke try to find out as they infiltrate Hazzard County Commissioner Boss J.D. Hogg's record piracy operation. Fine.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
DVD summary. What kind of music publishing outfit would bilk Daisy out of $50? Well, here's a hint. Dukesters. Where there's corruption, I think I said it wrong. Well, here's a hint. Dukesters. They're referring to us. Where there's corruption, there's Boss Hogg. And this time, the FBI is keeping an eye on the scam. I blew the joke. That's my fault. Whoever wrote the DVD summary, it's not your fault. It's mine. I'm sorry. Here is my summary. Burn a little summary music here. This could be the most unique episode in all of the Duke's Kingdom. And in 2026, it's a good reminder that we'll always have to re-review these every few years because AI has now made this even more believable. Bern, do you remember when Austin Powers woke up and said, as long as he could live in a society free of consequences from sex, drugs, and rock and roll, that he'd be sound as a pound?
Yes.
That's what these early episodes are like to me. This is where we learn that the General Lee is the Duke Boys racing car, built from the wheels up. This is where we learn why the General has the doors welded shut. Bernie, this is the one where we learn about Daisy's virtue. Still intact.
Still intact.
This is the episode that rips off Smokey and the Bandit heavily, including the Bandit shirt. Oh well, in this second episode of the Dukes, we learn that Daisy is an aspiring songstress. She spends money to have a song published, it is, and then recorded professionally by a real country singer, all so that we get to watch her show up in a 70s one-piece. And that is still in fashion. Bo and Luke trick the bad guys into thinking Daisy can be an impersonator. It turns out the bad guys are really run by Boss Hogg, who is effectively trying to join the mob. Yeah. This is the weirdest yet coolest episode ever. It's full of details, and again, we get Burt Reynolds' red shirt and Daisy's Roadrunner that our man Corndog is re-preparing for himself. I give this 10 Burt Reynolds shirts. Corndogs.
Sweet.
This is a good episode. Like,
Yeah, I've
really
always
good.
liked this episode. It's this one. Well, this one and Repo Man and High Octane. For whatever reason, those three, really the first two that I mentioned, are my favorite of the Georgia episodes. And High Octane's right there, close second or third.
Do you happen to know the ratings of the first 5 episodes?
No.
They must have been substantial because the show got picked up. This show was a mid-season replacement. It premiered in January of 79. And by the time the 5th show had done, they already knew that they had a hit, and Warner Brothers moved the entire production from Georgia to California for the remainder of the series.
Well, the thing is, I almost wonder if, I don't really know how this part works because they were still in production, and the show had not even aired yet when they moved to Georgia, or when they moved to California, because they went to Christmas break.
Really?
And then came back right around New Year's. And so I'm almost wondering if they've, already watched, the rough edit, maybe the critics or whoever, I don't know who would have done that. And then realized, okay, this is going to be, we've got something that will actually go more than 5 episodes. And so, yes, the decision was made right after Christmas break to move the production out to California. And, it was later that month. In January when the first episode aired.
Okay, so somebody at Warner Brothers realized that this has some legs.
Right.
I believe it. So this is the second episode. In these first few episodes, they introduce all the characters over and over again like you've never seen it before.
Right.
We get an introduction to Bo and Luke. They fight the system. Daisy, Uncle Jesse, Boss, and we get introductions to all of them. And in these early episodes, Uncle Jesse is basically the same guy that he will be.
Very stern.
I would say Bo is close-ish to who he is. He's a little more, like,
Young and carefree.
cool.
Yeah.
Then he's more cool, less wholesome. I mean, he's cool throughout the whole series, but this episode, Luke is more himself than he was in One Armed Bandits. In One Armed Bandits, he's like not a good guy. And Cooter is competent. Like shockingly competent in this episode. So I like that. But most of all, this is the episode we get to know the General a little bit. And the General Lee is referred to as their racing car. A car that they built from the wheels up, and they only drive them if they think they're going to be in trouble. Mm-hmm. Now, I think the way that we're recording today, you guys can't hear the clip super well, but this is one that I like, so I'm playing it for you anyway.
General Lee was their racing car. They built him from the wheels up. Although they had another car, when the boys expected trouble, they drove the General, which meant they drove him a lot.
They drove him a lot, and they had another car. Corndog, what was the other car?
The only other car that they would have ever referred to, the Daisy's Roadrunner 74.
Yeah, but didn't in the previous episode Luke say he had a car? That's what Cooter bought him.
And he loaned it to Cooter, but they don't really ever hit on that as like what type of vehicle it was or anything like that.
I do love the General in this episode. How many generals were used in this episode?
So we got Lee 2 and 3, and we have a freshly built 68 converted Charger.
Okay. Is this a first?
Yeah, I think in the scene that it's, you first see it, it's right in front of the Star Recording Studio. And when they pulled up in front of the studio, the car, you don't actually see this, but the car that they used for that scene only had an 01 on the passenger side and not the driver's side.
Okay.
And, so they used 2 cars for the scene in front of the Star Recording Studio, and one was Lee 3, and the other one was the 68 freshly built car. And I've never really heard exactly why they only put 101 on it, but from my understanding, is the car was like just built like the day before, and they had just enough time really to slap on 101. The car doesn't even have a roll bar in it. But yeah, you can see the 68 pleated seat covers when they look down inside the car.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that car went on to California and, lived there for a little bit and then was eventually jumped.
Okay. Well, I have your serious notes as from the original episode that we reviewed.
I should have gone back and listened to it because I can't remember what I sent in.
What I love about this episode, so I love the real in-car driving scenes. And I like when you see John Schneider driving, like he's working the wheel a lot. And I mean, it looks good.
Yeah.
I like that Bo and Luke wear different clothes. We don't hardly ever see that on the Dukes of Hazzard, but in this one we do. I like here how obvious the chemistry is. It's good. I like that the Cadillac is so normal that the horn works.
Yeah.
Like usually they disable like the horn and the lights and stuff like that on screen cars, but not on this one. Like when they
you'll see that on the Daisy Roadrunner in a little bit later episode. The Limo 1 is missing episode. The same thing. They fold the seat forward, the seat hits the horn, and you could hear it, the little Roadrunner horn beep a couple times.
I do not like that Boss Hogg is a scoundrel. I don't care for that. Yeah, he's got a girl on his lap. I don't like that part. That's not okay. I do like that the General Lee has visors and a rearview mirror in some scenes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I like that a lot. I don't like that Boss's hat is too small. Looks like Laurel and Hardy. Like,
so it sits atop of his head and not like around his head, I guess you'd say.
Yeah. The shirt Bo wears, that red shirt, I mean, that's the Bandit shirt. Was that a purposeful move? Do you know? This is the only episode he ever wears.
I really don't. Through these first couple episodes, and then they finally just went with the typical yellow and blue or blue plaid.
Well, the gist of the episode is that Daisy is an aspiring songwriter. She has written to a magazine article or a magazine ad to have a song published, and then she heard it on the radio as sung by Jesse Coulter. And it turned out that it was a fake piracy operation, and the studio would have fake sounding recording artists record their real show, get the royalties. The person that wrote the song would never get paid. The whole thing was so that record pirates could make this and sell them for real and make money. Boss Hogg was behind the whole scheme. Bo and Luke tried to get her money back. Bern, you worked in professional audio broadcast. What did you know about piracy back in the day? You lived in these days.
Absolutely. Piracy was a big no-no. And the quality, you could kind of course.
It was a no-no?
Yeah, it was a no-no.
They were against it.
It was a no for a nano. But you could tell what was a pirate back then because the equipment was not that great. I mean, it's a lot easier to do today. But in my circles, it really wasn't that big of a problem. I'll be honest. Very limited exposure to it.
And your circles were Christian radio.
My circles were later on. It was country radio in the beginning, but it was very small market radio, very grassroots, very humble, you could say, but a lot of fun.
The recording studio that they go to is called the Star Studio. It is a real studio, or once was, in Georgia.
Yeah, it's in Atlanta. It's right off of I-20. Like I-20 backs up. Well, the back of the studio where they have the collision with the police car.
Mm-hmm.
That's a frontage road that runs right alongside I-20. For whatever reason, I've memorized it. It's 1200 Spring Street in Atlanta.
It's still there, and it basically looks the same.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
They've freshened up the paint a little bit. And,
I'm looking at it on Google Maps right now.
Yeah.
The surrounding area across the street looks quite different.
Yeah, there used to be and you could see it while they're having their conversation about what to do, either go back to the farm or go back in and get her money. You can see behind bow, you can see a Mellow Mushroom restaurant and some gas station. I don't remember which.
Mellow Mushroom.
All of that is different. Do y'all not have Mellow Mushroom?
No, that sounds like a drug.
Pizza place.
Oh, all right.
It's good pizza, but yeah, we had some around here. I don't even know if they're still open.
When it comes to record piracy, have you guys given much time to my very favorite YouTube channel, There I Ruined It?
Oh, I've seen a bunch of those. Yes, I love them.
You're familiar with Conway Fitty?
Yeah.
Bern, I think you'll find something in your folder to go ahead and insert here.
It's your birthday, we're gonna party like it's your birthday. When I pull out out front, you see the Benz on the dust. When I roll 20 deep, it's 20 nights in the club. My flow, my show brought me the dough that bought all my fancy things. My crib, my cars, my cools, my jewels, and tight-fitting jeans.
Okay. So that's what makes America great. This episode is about piracy, and piracy is now at your fingertips.
Yep, that's right.
So easy.
And so entertaining. I absolutely love it. Let's go through some of Corndog's inside notes on this episode. So when we first started doing this, Corndog used to type up notes, and you love these first episodes so much. So here are Corndog's notes. As accompanied by video. At the opening scene, the general pulls up to the farm with some front-end damage, bumper, push bar, grill, hood, and fender. This is Lee 3, and the damage was caused during a scene that took place later in this episode at the junkyard when they rear-end the agent's car. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that becomes kind of clear. And that's probably also Lee 3 that's driving into Atlanta. That has kind of a smashed-up nose.
Yeah, let me pull up the photo real quick. I believe it is... I've got a screenshot. Well, yeah, it looks to be Lee 3. And also Lee 3, another point on that is Lee 3 had a removable roll bar, just a 3-point roll bar. And on the scene where it is driving on the interstate, the roll bar is not in the car.
Interesting. You have another note that says later in this episode, that same car, Lee 3, will be used to ram the front end of the Atlanta police car when they are leaving Star Recording Studio.
Yeah, and it took a pretty good hit. That damaged hood ended up going on Lee 1 for when they built the car as the Richard Petty race car.
Ooh. For a future episode.
Yeah. And so, they would swap parts back and forth. And Lee 1, after it was jumped on the previous episode, they salvaged everything good off of that car. And so a lot of the Lee 1 parts that were still good found their way onto this car, Lee 3, and, would eventually get used up again later on.
450 mark generally pulls up in front of Star Recording Studio. 2 General Lees were used, Lee 3 and the first converted General Lee of a 68. The 68 conversion was done so quickly the crew didn't have enough time to put the 01 on the driver's side door, which you already pointed out. Mm-hmm. 718 mark when the boys walk out of the studio and Daisy is sitting in the car. This is the 68 General Lee. Notice that the roll bar is missing and that the 01 is placed too high on the door. You will notice the 68 pleated seat covers on the back, but the crew swapped over a pair of 69 seats for the front. And of course, the side marker lights were smoothed over.
Yep.
Nothing gets by the dog.
And also the 01 was spaced. It was too far up the door, but it was also the 0 and the 1 were too far apart from each other.
Needed a comma in between.
Yeah.
11:21. Boss leaves recording studio in caddy with the top up, which is the only time we will see this. And notice the Cadillac license plate on the front, like the Cadillac script.
Yeah.
The caddy would eventually run a Confederate flag plate later on. During the Georgia episodes, Gary Baxley played double duty, acting as Boss Hogg's driver as well as working stunts. At this point, was there more than one caddy? Or was this it?
It was just the one. And from what I understand, Don Shishler, when he was the transportation coordinator in Georgia, they gave him a list of cars that needed to be purchased for this new series. And from what I understood, there was some area in Atlanta where it was just used car shops one right after the other. It was like a row of them. And he purchased the Cadillac and the Roadrunner, supposedly at the same used car dealer.
Like at the same time?
Yeah, I think both, and he may have bought some more vehicles there as well, but I think they were able to get most of the vehicles that they needed at one or two of the used car shops, car lots there on that strip.
Okay. 12-minute mark. Dukes flee the studio, and we see the first ever hood slide by Luke, which was done by accident. And Tom Wopat has recounted this numerous times. He was not meaning to do the famous slide. And the famous slide resulted in a famous tear to his arm and or leg. When he meant to like run over the car, he slipped, did the slide, finished the scene, but as he's going over, the aerial, like the radio antenna is still there. And it's low, and he cuts his arm open on it. And again, I know that the way we're recording today, you guys can't quite hear this, but you hear him go, ow, for a second. Yeah. Here it is. You hear him, yo! Let's wear that one more time. Yo! He does finish the scene, but he has mentioned many times like that. No, that wasn't on purpose. I wonder how many things like that became part of the show that they just did. So we know that the doors were welded shut. That was written in the script. But the fact that they would jump and slide over the car, which becomes like a thing through the whole series. I mean, they go over the roof of the car. They run on the car. That all becomes part of the lore.
And the thing is where that scene was filmed, you know, it's a pretty steep incline coming off of that upper parking lot down to the lower parking lot. And I mean, that would have been tough either way to come down that hill and then jump up on the hood of the car and hood. So yeah, I can definitely would have been easier just to slide across the hood.
Yeah.
Accidentally.
12:13 mark. Lee 3 rams the Atlanta police car, doing even more front end damage. Lee 3 will be used throughout the rest of season 1. And then you do hear the part about repairing with parts from Lee 1. At the 21:49 mark, after Daisy is seduced by Lester, then walks out to the General Lee, this is Lee 2. Notice the full cage. Also notice the California emission decal on the lower passenger side of the windshield.
Yeah. If you look carefully, there is a car in that photo, that screenshot. And you will see the, I don't remember what it is. I actually have one of these decals that would go in the windows of these California cars. And it was something like no knocks, admission. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I've managed to get one, an old one. And so this car and Lee 2 and Lee 3 both had these stickers in the lower corner.
This is the part where you hear this.
Now, if you're wondering why they climb in and out of their car windows, the doors of a racing car are welded shut. Ain't that slick?
I dig the sound effects in here with all the fake engine sounds and the fact that they fake it being a stick shift and all that.
Mm-hmm.
That is the only explanation you ever get and all you'll ever need about why they're welded shut. Until the season 7 episode 1, Happy Birthday General Lee, where you see them welding them shut. Because race cars' doors are welded shut.
Yeah, that's what Uncle Jesse asks. He said, why are you doing that? I said, it's a race car. What do you expect?
It's just what it is. Let's see, 33-minute mark. When the Roadrunner and the RV about to bust through the gate, you can see both police cars parked in the background, the same two that are supposedly chasing the RV. 38 mark. When you see the back of the Roadrunner from the police car's in-car view, you can see that it appears the license plate was partially spray painted black, and the stickers on the rear bumper look to have a strip of silver duct tape over them. Also, the CB antenna was missing. You got pretty nerdy on this one, man.
Yeah. I was trying to find every last detail that I could on the Daisy car. And so I've like I said, I've watched this episode numerous times, just trying to pick every last detail that I can out on the car.
Final note, 46:15. During the sting operation at the underground recording studio, when Luke steps out of the Roadrunner, You get a quick glimpse of the inspection sticker on the lower driver's side of the windshield. The decal is orange with black letterings. There's a large number 5 on it. After a little bit of research, I determined that the decal was from Florida and would have expired in May of 1979. This car, along with Boss Hogg's Caddy, were purchased locally from a used car lot. So you have several other items in here, including the shock absorber sticker.
Yeah.
Roadrunner muffler shock absorbers.
Yeah, that was the brand was Roadrunner, and it had a little Roadrunner image on it as well. And so yeah, they had that on the driver's side quarter glass, and they also had it on the rear bumper as well.
What were the tires on the front?
No, the tires on the front were Goodyear rallies.
What were they on the rear?
Dean Stinger.
So right. What was the license plate while filming in Georgia?
Oh, I gotta try to remember. It was like PK. It was 063 or 630.
063, PKH 063. What was it when they moved to California?
It's FCH 603, I think.
630.
Yeah, my dyslexia. But it was a PKH, and I don't know why they would have swapped it, but who knows?
This car becomes a year in a few later episodes, but you particularly like these, and I think in our audio show, if people go back to listen, by 74, Roadrunner is like a decal package, for the most part.
Yeah, 73 M4s by that point, and maybe even 2, but mostly 3 and 4s. It was just a hood and a package. That was basically it.
When they go to steal the RV, Luke tells Bo to drive the scrap heap.
Yeah,
and that's an interesting thing there. But at this point, you're not quite sure if both cars are going to be featured cars, because they both kind of get equal screen time. It starts with the Generally and it ends with the Roadrunner, and they both get a lot.
Well, they give it a little bit of an explanation as to why they switched to the Roadrunner about midway through, and that was because they were they knew the General Lee would stick out, and so they needed something that would, it's obvious, less, hasn't been seen, I guess, by the Federal's agents. So they swapped to her car.
In 1979, this show was the number 20th show in the country. In 1980, it was number 9. In 1981, it was number 2. Then it became number 6. And then in the Coin Vance era, in season 5, it became number 34. This was the one, two, three. This was the 4th highest rated season of all 7 seasons. The last 3 seasons never got as high as this one did. And that's for a mid-season show. I enjoy this episode. I already gave it 10. What do you give it?
Oh, it's definitely, without a doubt, a 10.
Bern, what do you give it?
Oh, I give it a 10. I enjoyed it immensely. I thought it was really well done. Answered a couple of questions for me that I think we've talked about maybe before, about when the hood slide happens on that location. That's the only urban scene outside of Hazzard that I can remember, where something happens and it felt kind of out of place. But now that you know the story and they're not in Hazzard, they're Atlanta, it makes more sense. But it's like a back of a bunch of apartments. Like, what are they doing there?
it is strange, but that hood slide is so it's in the opening credits.
Mm-hmm.
And in every Tom Wopat episode, it will be in the opening credits. That very hood slide is mimicked on so many shows, including Family Guy. Like Brian the dog goes up and over and like does the same, like his right leg goes, over the hood light. I loved it. Absolutely love it.
I love the comedy in it that Waylon has, that he says he likes June Carter more than he does Jesse Coulter. You're not supposed to like June Carter more than your wife, but okay.
On this episode, they dub in someone else's name, because if episode, when they say her name, Jessie Coulter, they're saying she is saying something else, but I can't ever make out what it is.
One of the songs that she plays when she's doing her fake voice is, I think, is it Donna Fargo? Somebody's something, I'm the happiest girl in the world, the zippity doo dah day.
Happiest girl in the whole USA.
I Googled that. That song came out in 1972.
Yes, it did.
So, okay, everybody, hope you enjoyed this episode. This was season 1, episode 2, titled Daisy's Song. If you like this and want to hear the rest of the show, you can do so. Just click the link in the show notes below. You can get us in Apple Podcasts. You can get us in Spotify and Pandora and all the normal platforms.